Hi folks, welcome to our lecture in completing the section on job analysis. We said earlier that there were several steps to the process of conducting a job analysis. Here we're going to talk a little bit about step 4, which is verifying the information that you've collected. So any information that you get on the job should be verified with the people who are currently performing the job to make sure that it's accurate, even their supervisors, and to some extent even coworkers, to make sure that there are not too many overlaps in some of the jobs that are going on. Maybe we have too many people doing one thing, but you need to be able to verify that. By verifying the information, it also increases validity and reliability. So any inconsistencies or people that are doing too much of one thing on the job, it can be addressed. Maybe there's some aspects of the job that you say, gee, I thought this job did that, and it appears that nobody's job is doing that duty. So no wonder we're having problems in that area. So we need to make sure that those things are addressed, and participants will be more honest if they know somebody is looking into the job and actually looking at it seriously and wanting to make it better for the company and for the employee. So participants are going to be more honest about it. Okay, when we look at the last step, which is writing a job description and a job specification, a description is really a statement of the duties of the job, the responsibilities, any of the reporting relationships, or to what position does your position, if it's your job description, what position does it report to, and any working conditions that you work under, any extreme heat or cold or whatever it is, right? The job specification is really a summary of the knowledge, skills, and abilities that are required to do the job. So we find that they're largely a summary of the skill, effort, responsibilities, and working conditions of that job. So now we do have some examples of a job description, say, and it's looking at the Vice President of Human Resources for a particular division, right, and a particular location, and it's starting to give us a summary and the duties and responsibilities of the job. Human rights legislation also has to be considered. And when we say it should be considered, what we're really saying is that there's nowhere in the law that says you must have a job description and you must have a job specification. But even though there's nothing in the law that forces an employer to have it, you should really have it, or we're highly advising that you do have it, because if there's ever any concern that an employee launches, say for pay equity, which we'll get into a little bit later, or any claiming harassment or discrimination or whatever, or being overworked for any reason, or they're trying to justify why they're being off so much, and it relates to the job, or they're unhappy with some of the changes in the job, you really need to make sure that you have a trail or you have some information on what this job is really about. The essential job duties of a job should be clearly identified in the description, and the only criteria examined on that job description should be the knowledge, skills, and abilities that are required for the essential duties of the job. Okay, so we do advise you to have job descriptions for everything. When an employee can't perform an essential duty of that job, okay, because maybe it's on a prohibited ground or for a good reason, you need to make sure that you make some a reasonable accommodation, but not to the point that it's going to cause the employer any undue hardship. Okay, so maybe there's something an employee can't do. Maybe they have to work on Sundays to do a job, but their religious affiliations preclude them from doing it, right? Maybe they have to be dressed in a particular way to do a job, a specific uniform that they have to wear, they have to carry out duties in a certain way, and they have religious concerns about doing that. So again, we have to make sure that we can make some accommodation, but it doesn't put the employer out of business, so to speak. Okay, in our next video, we're going to look a little bit more closely at job specifications.